Crypto presents exciting new opportunities for the investment-minded, but it's also volatile and accelerating in complexity. That's why we created Token Metrics, an intelligent crypto platform backed by an industry-leading combination of data, AI, and media that feeds optimized portfolios to crypto investors. Featuring Token Metrics ratings to help you find the best investment opportunities in real time, an indices page that showcases various model portfolios, and deep insights into price predictions and technical analysis. A dedicated NFT dashboard that evaluates NFT collections and assets by our machine learning algorithm to find the most profitable and secure NFTs across all available blockchains. Plus, with access to Token Metrics TV, monitor 24/7 exclusive crypto news and analysis. Whether you're a first-time trader or a seasoned crypto investor, you can stay informed and in control, backed by your all-in-one crypto companion, Token Metrics. Take control of crypto today.
We are live. I am back. Yes, this is live on YouTube. This is the market update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live or posting a new long-term price prediction video. Talk more about that later. And most of all, make sure you hit the like button on this stream and the like button on our long-term price prediction video. We've got one out for Bitcoin. So for today, we're going to go through kind of like a roadmap. We're going to be doing this on a weekly basis. I'm going to try to get you guys more, but we're going to do this on a weekly basis, right? And then Token Metrics customers and Astrobot holders, they get the extra alpha. Let's put it that way. But I know you guys are out there, and I want to help you as much as I can. So today I'm going to help you with the roadmap. We're going to talk macro, Fed, crypto, even Elon Musk. Okay, Elon Musk made a move today with Twitter, which you don't think has anything to do with crypto, but it might. It might tell you something about risk assets. All right. So we'll give people some time to come on the stream here while we say hello to Sarah first on the stream. Thank you, Sarah. Welcome. Jose is here. Izzy, good morning. Right. Tyson thinks Algorand's going to 20. We'll check that out. Rugby Performance Lab says, Bill, give us some good news. No problem, dude. No problem. Gonna have plenty of that today. Bull Runner is here. Pat, hi, welcome. Okay, Lorenzo in Italy is here. Welcome to our Italian friends. East Tennessee, Delaware, Hamilton, Ontario. Okay, good morning from the Blue Army. That refers to a group in the Astrobots. Jose posts the first like. Daydream, Jonathan, Volatility Junkie from Texas. Love it. Okay, Mad Max says, Bill, pump won't last long. Okay, that's possible. Question is, where will the pump be? Big coins or smaller coins? Right? Sometimes, and I talked about this with the ETH merge, right? Sometimes the stuff that's going to rally after the merge isn't the stuff you think is going to rally, right? So I think we're in a positive period for October, but let me not get ahead of myself. Driftless, what's up? You're here. Chad from Vancouver. Zach from Philly, welcome. Okay. Recon Man says, smash that like button for Notorious Bill. We appreciate that. All right. Slosh on. We'll get you some help with your NFTs. You can ask in Discord or support at Token Metrics. Danny LFG. Okay. Sasha's talking about one of the coins that we discussed exclusively for Astrobot holders. Exclusively. Okay. Kim, nothing but love for Token Metrics and the Sheepdog Golden Army. Yes. Okay. Wisconsin is here. Edmonton. Okay. When will I get my Astrobots? They're going to work on a new airdrop to get you any Astrobots that got compromised. So they're working on that. Africa is here. Welcome. Okay. Arkansas is in the house. Let's see who else we have. We have Australia, right? Up late. Jake Perry here again. Okay. Zach Blackstone is enjoying gold. Yes, we helped our Astrobot holders and Token Metrics customers find the bottom in gold. And believe me when I tell you, that rally is just getting started. Okay. NFA, Big Brother Bitcoin may not be far behind. Purple Army, Oxford, welcome. Okay. Augusta, Georgia in the house. Philip says, thank God the sheepdog is back. Yes, I am back. Thank you for that love. Okay. New crypto guy talking about Link. Right. How about them Cowboys from Philly? Little NFL talk here. Purple Army. And of course, our friends from Nigeria, Guatemala in the house. So let's talk about this market. Let's get everybody up to speed. Love from Jamaica. Thank you. Okay. I'm just going to kick right into it. We're actually going to test almost a new stream format. Okay. It's like news and views with like TA like woven in. So instead of section 1, section 2, okay, we're going to kind of weave it together. Now, basically, this is one of the smartest people I know. Okay, Dim It on Twitter, at Dim It. Follow this guy. Okay, he's really smart. So, you know, he's a very big gold guy. And when I recognized what was going on in gold, I was like, oh boy. And then he tweeted this for posterity. Okay. Meaning this is like this is like the mother of all inflection points or the mother of all bottoms for the euro, for the Chinese currency, for gold. Okay. And a bottom in interest rate futures, right? So basically, they go down when they think the Fed's going to tighten, and they go up when the Fed chills out. And then, of course, there is the greatest classic cover of Bloomberg Business Week of all time. Let me see if I can get this on the screen. Okay. Business Week says, can't stop the dollar. Note the dollar is smashing all the other little currencies there. The euro, sterling, you know, the yen, all the currencies are getting smashed, right? The little ones, you know, King dollar. The Fed has turned it. Look at this. Like this is in a technical analysis textbook. Matter of fact, you may not even need the technical analysis textbook when you see stuff like this. The Fed has turned the US dollar into a wrecking ball, and there's no end in sight to the carnage. Okay, this is, of course, referring to the fact that the Fed's going to hike rates forever. The dollar is going to go up forever, right? The euro is going to go down forever, and gold and precious metals will never rally in our lifetime. Okay. Meanwhile, okay, another massive retweet. Okay, let's go this way. Let's see what else I can find here. Okay. Charlie Bilello points out that American Association of Individual Investors showed the most bearish sentiment since the great financial crisis and the recession in 1990, triggered by oil prices doubling and Iraq invading Kuwait. Okay. So people have, prior to on Friday, people were never more bearish, only 2 times in equities. All right. Then to complete the picture, this is incredible. This is from the same guy. And this transitions us to crypto. It's almost all you need to know. You know how I joke? I've been joking this week with the Token Metrics customers and the Astrobot guys that sometimes it's just a one chart market update. It's like blah, 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 blah. Here's the chart, and that's the market update. Okay. Now, we're not going to do that today because we know you guys are starved for some love on YouTube. So we get it. I'm going to give you everything I can. But check this out. 49% in the right-hand corner. 49% of millennials, okay, sold their investments in growth stocks and crypto. Now, who are millennials? Well, they're about 40 years old and they've had a tough time, right? They couldn't get a job after the 2008 financial crisis. They wound up saddled with, a lot of student loan debt. They had to live at home with their family. Then when the economy got hot, they got jobs, they had kids, they got married, and then they bought a house. And yeah, rates were low, but they paid twice the price for half the house that they wanted. So how exasperating, right? And then when they had these huge mortgage payments, when they saw risk assets go down, they just liquidated. They just lost all patience. My friend says the largest holders of crypto assets and growth equities like ARK have liquidated. And listen to this. This is like poetry. Seeds of an inevitable future envy cycle in place. In other words, long-term FOMO. In crypto, we think FOMO, it's like, oh, got to get in now. Okay. That's not necessarily the case. This could be something where everyone just sort of watches this trend, this downtrend in risk assets just unwind itself. Like notices this is being recorded on the 4th of October. Like nobody's particularly excited in Bitcoin right now. They should be. They're more excited in equities. And we'll tell you why. But the envy cycle, like FOMO, like you've never seen, is coming. Meanwhile, okay, Liz Ann Saunders, okay, chief strategist from Charles Schwab, okay, undoubtedly respected as one of the smartest people out there, period, notes that in some parts of the economy, like consumer electronics, CPI has tanked. Like, in other words, we're going to go through other macro stuff, but the price of televisions, like everything that everybody wanted during COVID, televisions, mattresses, furniture, home workout equipment, prices of all this stuff is going to collapse. Yeah, food and energy still suck. Okay, I get it. Our friends in Europe, I'm not sure. I keep talking about the U.S. like defending these people. I'm not sure we're helping them at all. But the fact of the matter is, deflation is already kicking in certain sectors of the U.S. economy. And this was as fear hit its peak last week. And I think there's still fear in crypto because no one's buying. Like as I'm talking now, on a percentage basis, equities are up more than crypto. Okay, so maybe the big cryptos have problems. I don't know. I'm sort of wondering why no one's interested in Bitcoin, but we'll get into that. Okay, so let's switch over to some of the news of the day, again, on the macro front. Okay, so they're grandstanding it, but shocking jolt. Biggest crash in job openings on record outside of the global COVID lockdown. Okay, so job openings have dropped, okay, although from a very high level. The Fed said that they need to cool this off. Okay, so yeah, they're cooling it off all right. Okay, now this article goes on to talk about how, don't doubt that the labor market has completely slowed down, but the number of people who are just quitting their jobs, okay, the blue line is people just going, you know what, I'm going to go do something else. That number is kind of falling out of bed. People are like, yeah, I think I'll keep my job now. Okay. And then there's this. There's the ISM Manufacturing Employment Monthly Change. So the ISM surveys, what's that? They're surveys that look at what's going on in manufacturing. Okay. And these indexes are rolling over at multiple levels. Okay. Now, combined with that, okay, you've heard about what happened with the UK pension system. Maybe you didn't get an explanation, so I'll give you one. Frequently, big investment firms have a strategy where they buy stocks, and then as a hedge against a drop in stocks, they just buy bonds. So they buy some stocks and they buy some bonds. Well, how do you know how many bonds to buy? Like, what kind of bond market position do you need to have to protect your stock position? Well, in crypto, people will get this, I think, that you have to be levered long bonds. You got to be long bonds with like Binance style leverage. Otherwise, how can you protect yourself when stocks dropped? Well, guess what? Bonds dropped more than stocks. Bonds crashed, particularly in the UK. They're still crashing, I think. So the Bank of England had to come in and start absorbing them, meaning rates are going up for consumers. Meanwhile, central banks are coming in and having to save big investment entities. And of course, it's pension funds. So that also is the little guy. I get it. But you remember from the Celsius days, is there ever just one blow up? No, of course not. And then Goldman is out a couple days later because there was massive rumors over the weekend that there was a problem with a Swiss bank, Credit Suisse, right? They're a huge player in the financial markets. You know, there was talk that there was a problem. And Goldman says there's not a problem. And the guys at Goldman are smart, but we all know that when Celsius came out and 3 Hours Capital came out and Voyager came out, everybody said, don't worry, there's not a problem. Don't worry, everything's fine. Now, when everyone is saying, don't worry, everything's fine, we know that it's not fine. We know that. Okay? So whatever the Fed is doing with their chart of 5% Fed funds and all this hawkish, ballistic stuff, that is over. And you can remember from past live streams, I'm saying in October, later, now it's happening faster than I thought, but this is over, right? They can hike rates only because it's embarrassing to have to stop hiking rates. But underneath the table, they're doing QE. They're raising the Fed funds rate, right? But at the same time, they're printing. The printing presses are rolling because they cannot have a geopolitical situation, oil going up, food going up, and a financial crisis all at the same time. They're done, is what I'm saying. They're just done. Okay. Now, interestingly, as the Fed is done, Elon wants to buy Twitter now. So what is Tesla? Is Tesla a car company or a media company? Well, actually, it's a media company that sells cars because Elon has always got a way of figuring out how to get in the headlines, regardless of whether he's getting sued or not sued or what's happening. Elon is always at the forefront. And Elon knows that, the risk asset calamity is probably over. So it's okay to come in and buy Twitter because his stock has probably gone down, or it might go down a little more, but he doesn't have to worry about his stock losing half his value, or so he thinks right now. So he's like, okay, the calamity's over. Let's buy Twitter. He backed away because he thought it was going to be the end of the world, and now he's back. And the headlines are everywhere. It's like genius in some ways, right? Okay. So let's return to how this affects crypto. So the Fed went too far. They always do. Every single recession, every single calamity is brought on by a central bank raising rates, probably either a lot or more than they needed to. There's always a blow up, and there's always more than one blow up. Now, that said, the UK pension fund thing that was a pretty big blow up. Sometimes it only takes one or two to turn the tide. That's the way it was with long-term capital management back in 1998, right? Where a big hedge fund failed and the Fed had to come in, absorb everything, and cut rates 3 times. Okay, now we're not going to have 3 rate cuts, but it depends how many blowups we have. We either have one or we have a lot. Obviously, if we have a lot of blowups, you know, it's depending on how big they are, the Fed is done. And so is the dollar. We'll get to that. Okay, so Bitcoin's correlation with gold is rising. So the dollar has topped, and don't go anywhere for that chart. The dollar has topped, and gold is rampaging higher. Right? My friend calls it the global reserve asset. And I would add Bitcoin in there as well. I mean, Bitcoin is proof of worth, proof of work. The CFTC chairman a week ago came out and said there are going to be favorable rulings on Bitcoin from a regulatory point of view that are going to be favorable to the Bitcoin price. This was from the CFTC chairman. Yet, as I've said frequently, Bitcoin is sitting on 20K. 3 days ago, they were selling it at 18 and no one is interested. It's just bored everyone to death. Well, people are interested in gold, and I expect that to continue, right? NFA is a long-term bottom in gold. Okay, now let's get over here and let's just look at some charts. So S&P futures, all right, this was some of the chart work that we did here, okay, that I did with the fib speed resistance fan lines. So amazingly, S&P made a new low for the move and then just smoked to the upside. Just smoked, right on this fib. They pounded on this thing for like 5 or 6 days, and then it just smoked higher. This is S&P futures. So stocks are now looking at an earnings season, which should be awful, and we've talked about that. Now, can they look past that, or is it going to be, buy the pivot, sell the earnings? I don't know. But the point is, the idea of this all blowing up now is not going to happen. Just for the sheer point that everyone expected it to happen. I mean, people were never more bearish. And if this thing starts going up, it sets up an envy cycle where people just watch it go up and they're like, oh my God, I missed it. Okay, now back to crypto just for a moment. Oh, actually, no, wait a minute. Let's go to the dollar index. Okay, so here's the dollar index. And obviously this was going up forever, right? It was parabolic. I got it. I get it. It was totally parabolic. But it got far away from the parabola that I drew here. So it either had to go sideways into Thanksgiving, or it just had to flat out go down to 109. And the way it's trading, it's already down 1%. I just think it's got to go down to 109 minimum, right? That's a retest of this prior high. Now, crypto isn't really reacting yet, and I don't know if that means there's a problem in crypto, or it means, we're headed for more of a speculative alt season. Can't even believe I'm saying that, but that's also possible. I also think it's possible that you wake up one day and Bitcoin's at 28K, right? There's a lot of monthly work, right, that would suggest you could have a monster up move at some point during October, okay? A monster up move. So it could be one of these things where Bitcoin lulls everybody to sleep, and then, it just absolutely smokes to the upside. Okay. And just as a side note, okay, Astrobots are an ERC-721A, and the Astrobot airdrop should be by the end of this week. So for our Astrobot holders. So dollar, done. Okay. Let's drive that point home by looking at the euro. I didn't even realize this until today. Can you believe this? This is the hidden pivot analysis for the euro. I mean, the euro hit the hidden pivot target at 0.95. And that's unbelievable. And then they turn around and it's going to take out parity. Right? Now, of course, with the dollar being done, that's not just the Fed. right? It's social division. It's, I really don't understand our strategy with, the conflict in Eastern Europe. I thought we would do everything we could to protect our NATO allies. And I'm not really sure about our strategy. And of course, don't forget that there's an election coming up in a month, right? And we're a highly divided country. So what the dollar index was doing at 114, I just don't know. Okay. Now let's go to crypto. Let's go to token metrics and talk about crypto. Okay. So on this chart, I'm going to pull up the relevant levels. These are quant levels drawn by our AI. And obviously the range has been so tight, it's painful. Okay. But ETH has been consolidating just below this level at 1346. Now, I would have thought that the key level in Ethereum would have been like the 62% fib number. It still might be. The 62% fib number at 1318. Now, one of the things I brought up yesterday to our customers is that, ETH does these things where it kind of sits around for a few days and then it doesn't move. Like it just smokes. Now, I don't know if ETH has got problems because it's now proof of stake, but the simple fact of the matter is ETH is holding the 62% retracement. Okay, that's 1318. And I think that may be the level everyone can see. And the real level from token metrics is 1346. So if ETH can take that out, there's room for 1459. And I actually think it's 1566. Right? So if there's a spurt in ETH, like that's where it can go. Right? And, when it comes to Bitcoin, I'm sort of vexed as to why everyone has just forgotten about this, right? They've just forgotten about it. So this Williams oscillator, once again, right, is getting close to zero. It may be a little hard to see. Maybe I can blow this up. Okay. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting close. Let me see if any of the higher time frames. No, they don't have it. Let's try 8 hour. Okay. So on some of these like smaller, like lower time frame charts, I'm getting interested, in what's going on with the Williams oscillator. So let's go with the 8 hour chart. Okay. Sometimes when you get these very low readings like this, you can get a move. Not all the time, right? Because Bitcoin's been dead for a while. Okay. But let's expand this out and let's talk about fib circle analysis. Okay. Now, fib circle analysis is very unusual. Very unusual. Okay. And I'm actually going to take some risk and draw it live on the air so you can see it. Now, what you do with fib circle analysis is you connect an important point. That's kind of like the Michael Saylor parabolic starting in January of 2021, right? And I'm just going to connect it to the all-time high. So, yeah, I picked 2 points, but I remember in January of 2021, right, which was, Bitcoin Miami was shortly after that. And I just remember that being just, that was when everybody was like, oh my God, this is really happening. Crypto it's going to 100K. And of course, everybody up here thought crypto was going to 100K. So these points are of interest. Now, let's take a look at what the fib circle analysis is telling us for Bitcoin, right? Now, with these levels, with these circle levels, you just take a look and see what happened at the various levels. It's kind of like Gann. So here, I mean, this was really hard to trade, but it was like grinding against the level and then it didn't go anywhere. And I think the best example is right here, right? is back during the Celsius days. Okay. Was when, Bitcoin just went through this level. It went sideways. It went through the level and then it just crashed. Right. Now, over here, we have a much bigger range. And my argument is that coming up on like October 7th, right, Bitcoin's going to get pretty close to this fib resistance line, or this Fibonacci circle line. Sorry. Okay. So if Bitcoin just continues to go sideways, headed into October 7th, there is the possibility that Bitcoin just rips. Like you just wake up one day and Bitcoin is just gone. Now, some people in the comments, no doubt, will say, okay, Bill, well, this is fascinating, but this is probably bowling ball out of a window, right? It's down, C. Okay. And I can understand why anybody would think that. I get it, right? When crypto sits like this, it's 2018 PTSD, right? Like Bitcoin just sitting here like this for months reminds me of when it sat at 6K for, I don't know, like 4 months, and then it just crashed. So I understand if people are skeptical, but gold is on the move, right? Gold is on the move, and let's talk about that. I mean, people are like, I was talking about this last week where a customer was like, okay, Bill, okay, Bill, and I've talked about this a couple times. I get it. I've been looking for this bottom for a while, but then what really happened was there was this huge give up trade. This is PAX, which by the way is redeemable for physical gold, right? So, it's a little bit different than some of these legacy instruments because, gold bugs will tell you that there are some oddities in legacy where every gold bar has like 100 owners, right? The math doesn't add up in terms of the value of physical versus paper gold. Like, if you talk to a gold bug, they will show you math, and I've seen it, where gold should be trading at $2,800. And if there could be God candles, it may be in gold. Because look at this epic give up trade. Look at how many red candles there are here. Just, down, 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 never going up again in our lifetime. Meanwhile, Williams oscillator approaching zero. Okay. So this rally could be a lot bigger than anybody thinks. And I understand it's probably frustrating for people to see, okay, well, Coinbase is up 10%, but crypto isn't. ARK is up 6%, but crypto isn't, right? The Bitcoin miners are up 13%, but crypto isn't. Well, okay, that's because they're experiencing the tailwind of the stock market. And I always say the best trades are the toughest trades. Actually, it was so bad on Friday that I actually had Token Metrics customers reminding me of that because I was like, oh my God, this thing is just such a disaster. Right? They're like, hey, the best trades are the toughest trades. So first, they bore you to death. Then they scare you to death. Now you're frustrated. You're like, I'm so sick of this. I can't take it anymore. I'm tired of this, right? I can't make money in crypto. Crypto is not going up, right? And I am furious, right? Okay. So, okay. So somebody is now telling me that I'm actually in the news. I'm sure Goldman's going to love that. Let me bring this up. So, I guess somebody wrote an article about me. People don't realize that this is so not me. I mean, I do have a red car, but it's a red Mitsubishi Eclipse. So, the media is kind of funny. But so I know I talked to somebody, I talked to a magazine writer. So I guess I'm in the news. I guess we'll talk about that later. Okay. Or we'll talk about it tomorrow. I have to read it first. Okay. The point is, everybody is frustrated. Everybody is frustrated, right? In other words, I'm like, hey, spring's got to come. Hey, we got to wake up here. Yeah, we got to wake up here, because I'm just thinking that, crypto has the ability to go on these 2-week sprints, right? 2-week sprints, meaning, okay, October into CPI sprint, right? Or maybe it's after CPI, but I'm guessing before. So let's sprint and then chill out, right? Like, I don't know if you've ever run sprints before, but you run, you recover, right? You run, you walk back, you go again. And I'm just guessing that in October, right, crypto can do its thing. Or you're just going to have one of these things where, you're just going to have an up 15% God candle in Bitcoin. And that's also possible, right? And then, you got the solar eclipse coming up on October 25th. And I don't know what happens after that, right? That most likely implies, something weird happening, perhaps something like an escalation in the geopolitical conflict. Now, one of the things I've been saying is crypto, this is crypto's moment to fulfill the Satoshi white paper. It will or it won't. Everybody always says, okay, when there's a problem with the world, crypto is the solution. Okay? So if crypto is the solution, then the weirder the world gets, the more crypto can sprint higher. Now, what's crypto been doing on this particular trip? Okay, this is the Token Metrics ratings page. Okay, so this tells you what's been doing well, right? By looking at the Token Metrics grade, which is what our AI likes based on, a lot of factors, including momentum. So I see Uniswap is in here. That's really interesting. ETH gas fees are really low now. There's QNT. So let's go to the QNT page. Okay. So it's now at 142. Let me get to the TA page. Okay, so on our visual trends indicator, it's kind of typical with, what works is that you'll get the signal, then it'll dip, and then if it's for real, it goes, right? The initial dip after the green signal should hold before it goes. Now, one of the things about QNT that I find so interesting is that it's a payment system. And XRP is awake as well. And we're going to cover XRP right after this. Okay. So in QNT, right, we're looking at the quant levels to find out if QNT's got more juice to it or whether it's over. Okay. Now, one thing you're going to try to notice, okay, 150 is the key level. So if QNT breaks 150, all hell could break loose in the market. Why? Well, this looks a lot like a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder to me. This looks like a classic head and shoulders bottom. Matter of fact, it is, because QNT, the neckline is not on here, but by coming back and retesting this level around 131, it could set up much higher prices. Could QNT go up by itself? Yeah, it has in the past. And I think you got to check Token Metrics ratings, right? Check Token Metrics ratings. So in case this is a situation where everybody's long Bitcoin and Ethereum, and sort of, I always hate these terms, but the pain trade is that other things other than Bitcoin and Ethereum rally. Now, let's look at XRP. Okay, so the SEC has definitely lost the case against these guys. XRP was, the Ripple Labs guys were telling people this at consensus. Okay, BitBoy's been telling you for months. Okay, that they have lost the case. That's why the SEC's got to go pick on other people, right? So what's going on with XRP? Like, where are the most important levels? Okay, so our interface is not perfect here, but 45 cents and 53 cents are key levels. Okay, now if you go back to where XRP is right now, XRP is doing a consolidation right on top of 48 cents. So from a common sense point of view, this was a giant base in ETH. So if in XRP, so if XRP starts to take out some of these quant levels like 53 cents, this is the bigger the base, the higher in the space. Okay. Payment system like QNT is moving. So why wouldn't XRP move? And XRP, normally I would like walk away and say, hey, you know, XRP is a legal thing. XRP is a regulatory thing. Okay, well, as this court case moves in a favorable direction for XRP, this is becoming a tradable asset now via TA. So the TA in XRP is improving dramatically. So who would have said, again, this goes back to the ETH merge. Who would have said that after the ETH merge, right, that XRP would take over? That XRP would just smoke to the upside. Nobody would have said that. Nobody. Just like nobody was saying gold could go up, the dollar was going up forever. In other words, crypto, everyone's like, oh, I'm too early. I'm too late. I missed it. No, I don't think anybody's missed anything. You haven't missed anything. I mean, look at XRP. XRP has been trading in this range forever, right? I mean, this goes back to like August, June of 2018. XRP has basically built a base below 50 cents, and now it's kind of just sort of sitting on the top or trying to break out of the top of that base. You have missed nothing, right? If anything, what you've missed is the opportunity to understand this whole central bank legacy pivot thing that's going on. I mean, I want to go to a 4-hour chart of Coinbase because, you know, obviously this was dead and we downgraded it. Everybody downgraded it to a sell and Coinbase was going out of business and all this stuff, right? Okay, right, whatever. Okay. So Coinbase, there was a simple trend line. And this is a lot like ETH, right? It just sat there and it looked terrible and it couldn't break the trend line, blah, 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 blah. And then you just wake up one day and it's gone, right? It's gone. You know, Williams oscillator approaching zero, right? So this, I mean, the higher Coinbase goes, the closer this gets to zero. So this could like feed on itself, right? You know, just for laughs, let's take a look at GBTC. We have been talking about the fact that GBTC could be undervalued. No, it's not. There's no could be. It is undervalued, right? Now, based on this structure, we would definitely want to see GBTC above 12. So here's a question. Is GBTC going to go to 10? Is it going to find resistance at 12 and then go to 10? Or is the fact that GBTC implies 12K Bitcoin means that some big player is going to come in and buy Grayscale because the company that runs GBTC, Grayscale, right, is going to get bought by some giant player like BlackRock? Why? Because Grayscale owns 5% of the world's Bitcoin. If I have that right, let me know. If I don't have that right, let me know. Okay. The point is, why is everybody bearish? Everyone's bearish. Why? Right? 20K Bitcoin. I mean, let's put up like a long-term chart. because I think people need to take a look at a long-term chart, right? 2017 high in Bitcoin was 20K. I mean, do you need a technical analysis textbook? You need like the first 50 pages. Like people are like, oh, what should I study? You know, you could read John Murphy's book, Technical Analysis. I read the old school version, Technical Analysis of Futures Markets. Okay. This is technical analysis of financial markets that they have out now. Okay. So if you just use the weekly open, okay, Bitcoin has been sitting on this level for, let's count it up. Let's see if this allows us. Yeah. Date range. Okay. So this was the Celsius puke in June. So this is the 16th week that Bitcoin has been sitting on 20K. Now I know if you went back to Bitcoin Miami in 2021 and said you would get 16 weeks to buy Bitcoin on top of the 2017 high, people would be like, I'll sell my house and buy Bitcoin. Now, of course, I said that, you know, you won't be able to sell your house and buy Bitcoin if Bitcoin goes back to 20K. But again, everyone is bored and no one is interested. All right. So let me take a couple questions. Let's see what's in the comments, right? Let's see what's there in the comments. Lava says people are bearish because everyone's talking about 12K. Okay. Somebody wants to see the ETH BTC pair. Okay, so this is the daily chart of the ETH BTC pair, right? And I'm guessing that there's going to be a fib number here that's going to be relevant. So ETH versus BTC has come back down and has retraced 50% of the pre-merge high. And I look at this and I don't understand why everyone's giving up on ETH. I just don't understand it. Right now, literally, I don't understand it. And I'm like, I can't believe ETH trades this bad. But I guess, you know, if you're looking for a God candle in Bitcoin, ETH versus Bitcoin could fall down to the 62% retracement. Theoretically. I mean, you're asking the wrong guy about ETH. Everyone was like, sell the news on the merge. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And that's what happened. So I'm not bearish ETH, but there's going to be a God candle coming up in one or two of these things, right? All right, CB, welcome. Hi. Okay. Sam says, you know, the Token Metrics lifetime membership via the Ashabot is a cool thing. Okay. And then somebody says, hello from Montreal. Okay. What about your old friend Audius? Okay. So for the last coin of today, right? You know, one of the things I'm telling people is that, you know, if your altcoin is rallying, wonderful. If your altcoin is not rallying, then you have to think about tax loss selling. Now, in Audius, the good news is all these new lows were not confirmed by new lows in stochastics. So as is typical with Audius, you can have these big spurts higher. So I'm not sure I'd be giving up on Audius at these levels. Okay. All right. Last one, near. Okay. So other layer ones, right? Remember during the ETH merge, like I was going to buy XYZ because it was going to be a hedge in case the merge didn't go right, and the merge was fine. You you know, when I look at this and I see how oversold this is, and I see, frankly, the hesitation. I mean, you can't even get these candles blown up, right? To me, it just feels like everyone's hesitating. Feels like no one's interested. Everyone's like afraid. Like you might say, hey, here's an idea in crypto. People are like, I'm not interested. Okay, right? Crypto may go up until people are interested, and then maybe that's the time to take trading profits. So let's sum it up, okay? The macro world has changed. The Fed went too far. It's just a question of when they admit it and when crypto picks up on it, right? The biggest problem for crypto could be that there's kind of a blow up inside a crypto hedge fund maybe, or Celsius bad news, which is why crypto can't get going. However, I'm going to keep the faith. I'm going to keep the faith that there can be a sprint higher in crypto in October, and that gold is going to go up and that Bitcoin could follow, right? I got more conviction on gold, but I don't understand why everyone's given up on crypto. You know, everybody has sold everything. So there's no one left to sell. And that's how I'm going to leave it. This is the market update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. I will definitely be back next week, probably on Monday, and we'll try to get you guys as much as we can. Token Metrics customers, we'll see you tomorrow.